Good evening, everyone. I'm SK Minaj Kadri. So today we are going to start one of the most important topics, that is human reproduction. Before we will start any concept about the human reproduction, let's know about the human reproduction is actually based on the sexual means. Why? Because it provides the variation, correct? And one of the exclusive character of the sexual reproduction is the fusion of gametes, male as well as female gametes, right? That we actually used to call the fertilization, correct. And one of the most important portion is about the sexual reproduction that provides the variation, right. And variation helps to adapt the any organism with the changing environment, correct. One more thing is here, when a sexual reproduction occurs in an organism, a normal cell division does not take place in the male reproductive reproductive organ, in a female reproductive organ also. uh, जैसे in our body cells are dividing to form another cell, right, by the process of mitosis. But in case of sexual reproduction, what happens, the gametes will be formed by the process of meiosis, right. Normally you can understand the meiosis is the process by which the number of chromosome is becoming half. For an example, 46 number of chromosome, right, containing cells will be 23 number of chromosome, ठीक है, in the cell. It will be divided, so the gamete will be containing 23 in each, correct. And as I told you, the first one, second, third and fourth, so these are the importance and these are the characters of the sexual reproduction. Second one is, what are the importance? The first thing you people can understand from the variation, it ensures the retaining of the species with in the community. The DNA of two individuals, organism of the same species, are involved. The sexual reproduction result in the variation. Correct. The sexual reproduction helps in crossing over, and it is essential for the variation. What is the meaning of crossing over? Actually, it is the exchange of genetic material between two homologous chromosomes. Correct. And fourth one is, the variation allow organisms to live in a diverse habitat with the help of the adaptation. Because of this variation, the sexual reproduction helps an organism to get the other qualities for the changing of environment, right. Along with that, the last point is, during this type of reproduction, the fusion of gamete takes place. This helps to maintain the constant number of chromosome throughout the species. For an example, by the process of meiosis, as I told you, the number of chromosome is reduced to 23, right, in each gamete. So mother will be sharing 23 and father will be sharing 23. That means after the fusion of these gametes, the offspring will be having 46 number of chromosome inside the cell, correct. Now my question is very simple. If this meiosis is not supposed occurs, okay, then what could happen? So the number of chromosome will become 92 in an offspring, right, which is not necessarily having similar with their parents. And normally the definition will be incorrect about the reproduction, that organism reproduce another organism of the same type having the same number of chromosomes also, right. It will be invalid, and that definition of the reproduction will be invalid, correct. Now come to some other concepts also. The animal reproduction. Animal reproduction is of two types. The first one is the laying egg, another one is giving birth to the young one. Even an organism which gives egg for the reproduction, those are called as oviparous. Oviparous, right. And those organisms which are giving birth to the young one, that will be called as viviparous. Viviparous, right. So these are the two differences. Now come to the other concept. Now let's enter to the main content here, right. In a human body, normally we are having so many types of organ systems, right. So the first one is the cardiovascular system or the transporting system. Second one is digestive system. Third one is endocrine and integumentary, lymphatic, muscular, nervous, reproductive, respiratory, skeletal, and urinary, or we used to say this, the excretory system, right. Only because of reproductive system, in human there are two types of gender, or the remaining organ systems are common in both the male and female, right? Only in this case, only reproductive system is different, and because of this only reproductive system, the male and female genders are differentiated, right? Because why these are different? Because one has to carry the child, another not required to carry the child, right? The males are supposed to not participate, or there is no participation in the carrying the child, right? The females are having. So according to their requirement of the body, or to the functions of the body, they are having the different types of organ systems, right? Especially for the reproductive system, right? Now come to the next point. Male and female reproductive system, as you can see here, there are several types of organs are involved in this, in the male reproductive system. Along with that, the female reproductive systems are having the different types of organs, the organs involved here. And you can see both are not similar. Just like, digestive system, both are having alimentary canal, both are having the digestive glands, right? And they are similar structures also, but here you will see nothing is similar here, right? Neither the ovary and the testes is similar, nor the vas deferens and the fallopian tubes are similar. Now uterus is existing in a male, right? The bulbourethral gland and prostate gland, seminal vesicles, so these are absent in the female. So there is entirely different types of structures components are there in the female that are existing in the male, correct? Now one by one we will be discussing about the content. Okay. Now the first thing is that about the male reproductive system, one by one we will discuss. So the primary sex organ in the male reproductive system, that is testes. You can see this one, testes. Second thing is that, one more thing, testes is inside the scrotal sac, or normally we used to say this scrotum, right? This scrotum is made up of by the dart muscle, DART, dart muscle, which helps to maintain the temperature of the testes, right? Simply, if I will ask you, what is the temperature required for the formation of sperm in the testes? So that will be the 2 to 3 degree Celsius lesser than the body temperature. So normally what is the body temperature in our body? So that is 37 degrees Celsius, right? So that means for the spermatogenesis our body requires 35 degrees Celsius, correct? If body will not be getting 35 Celsius, then body will not able to do the spermatogenesis, right? If for an example the testes is remaining in our body itself, right? It is not outside of the body. So at that time the testes temperature will be remaining 37 degrees Celsius, right? In that period of time testes will not able to form any sperm, correct? Along with that, any reason testes is remaining under the temperature of 37 or more than that, right? So in that period of time testes will not able to do the spermatogenesis. So to maintain the temperature of the testes, it is actually out of the body, along with that surrounded by a kind of muscle of the scrotum which maintains the temperature here, right? And it maintains the temperature up to 35 to 36, by which it can do the spermatogenesis, right? Along with that, it is also secreting some other hormones like testosterone. Testosterone ka function we already know about it, that secretes the testosterone which provides the secondary sexual character to the male, correct? Like mustache, beard, and broad shoulder, more muscles. So these are the character. Second thing is, you people can see here, this is the structure which is attached to the testis, right? And this is called as epididymis, right? Epididymis, this is a kind of tubular structure which joins with the, right, which joins with the testis along with that vas deferens, this one, right? So major function of this epididymis is to store the sperm for the temporary period, right? It stores the sperm here. Along with that, it also helps in maturation of the sperm, maturation of sperm, and it takes 12 24 hour, or that means 1 day, for the maturation. Till then it remains inside the epididymis, right? Apart from this, when we will say what it's connected with it, it is connected, epididymis is connected with the vas deferens. The first one is testis, which is connected with the epididymis, and this epididymis is connected with the vas deferens, correct? And this is also tubular structure, or that is also called as sperm duct, right? So all the sperm after during the coitus, this moves from epididymis to the vas deferens and enters inside the Ejaculated duct. Actually, ejaculated duct is a kind of duct which is togetherly formed. Vast difference. And the duct which is coming from the seminal vesicle. So these are the seminal vesicle. This one and this one, seminal vesicle. So the duct which is coming from seminal vesicle along with the vast difference togetherly forming the ejaculated duct, which is entering inside the male reproductive or copulatory organ, that is penis. Right now, there are three glands are there. Male accessory glands are there. Seminal vesicle. Second one is prostate gland. Third one is Cowper's gland. So seminal vesicle that produces the secretion responsible for the sperm transportation, right? Whereas the prostate gland that secretes the alkaline secretion, right, into the semen, and Cowper's gland that secretes a kind of secretion which helps in lubrication, right? Now you need to remember this prostate gland is the only one in number, whereas seminal vesicle two and Cowper's gland is two in number. Correct? Apart from this, the last one, the penis, which is a copulatory organ, right? Here you can see multiple times the semen is written, right? The secretion of these glands, seminal vesicles, prostate gland, and Cowper's gland togetherly called as, or altogether they called as seminal plasma. Seminal plasma. So seminal plasma along with the sperm togetherly called as semen, right? And the last one is penis, which is called as the male copulatory organ. Correct? So with this, our portions are over related to the male reproductive system. One more thing I will add here, right? So you people can see there are two terms are written: the crypto cryptorchidism and the orchopaxy. Remember one thing: this testis sometimes remains in the abdominal cavity. This one, it is not descended outside of the body. It remains in this abdominal cavity. At that time, the sperm unable to produce the sperm. The condition at which the sperm remains in the abdominal cavity, that is called as cryptorchidism. Done. And it can be descended outside of the body by the surgical method within 1 year. After birth, within 1 year, this can be done. So this is called as orchopaxy. This is the surgical method by which the undescended testes will be descended into the scrotal sac. Now come to the next one. The female reproductive system, and the female reproductive system, and you can see it is a very important. And in the terms of the functions, the major function is done by ovary, right? So we know the ovary is also called as gonad. The first thing it is doing, it is forming egg, right? Second thing is it is producing hormones also. So here the two types of hormones are produced here. The first one is the testosterone, the second one is progesterone. Okay, the progesterone mainly secreted by the special that tissue called as corpus luteum of the ovary. Correct? Apart from this ovary is connected with the finger-like projections. You can see this from this part to this part. It is called as fallopian tube or oviduct. Remember one thing: if you will be differentiating these parts, so this will be fimbriae, this will be infundibulum, this will be ampulla, and this will be isthmus, right? Or this area is called as isthmic ampullary junction, where the fertilization takes place. Correct? Now come to the third one, that is uterus, and one of the important also, right? You people can see the uterus is a muscular, right, and pear shaped structure which is having three linings or three coverings are there: the perimetrium and the outer one, the outer covering you can see. Second one is myometrium, you people can see here also, and at the end endometrium, it is the inner layer. This one you can see. Correct? So remember one thing: this perimetrium function is to protect the uterus. Second thing is myometrium. The major function of the myometrium is the contraction and relaxation during the childbirth. It is also helping the efflux of the child, right? So actually what happens uh, after the fully development of the fetus, now fetus sends the message to the brain of the mother, okay, that I am already developed, and then brain will secrete the oxytocin, by which the body that oxytocin will act on the myometrium, which increases the contraction and relaxation process by which the child is coming out from the vagina, right, or the birth canal. And it is also helping in the degeneration of the endometrial wall. So here the endometrial wall is a kind of wall which is formed within 28 days. In every 28 days it is formed, again it is degenerated. Why? Because it is waiting for the fertilization. If fertilization will not be taking place, then it will be degenerated. Okay. One more thing is here, endometrial wall is actually made up of from the mucus, right, and along with this some blood vessels are also there, right. So that's why during the period or the menstrual cycle, at the time the bloods are coming out, correct. And why it is formed actually within 28 days? Because it is required, for the implantation, attachment of the developing embryo with the wall of uterus. Why it is attaching? Because it has to take the nutrition from it, from the mother especially, right. And the third one you people can see it here, it is not mentioned, but we will be discussing this one, cervix. The narrow part present just below the uterus is called as cervix, and below the cervix there is a tubular structure called as vagina, and this vagina along with the cervix togetherly called as birth canal. Birth canal, this is called as birth canal, correct. And the last one you people can see, the vulva. The vagina and urethra both are opening into the vulva, correct. So with this, our female reproductive systems are over. And the third major portion is the reproductive cells of human. Reproductive cells, correct. The first one you can see, the human egg or ovum or secondary oocyte. The second one is the human sperm or the spermatozoa. Okay. The first one you people can see this entire structure. Very simply it is this one. This is the first layer. Second layer you people can see a complete rounded structure is here. Okay. This one also, second one. Third one you people can see this is the third one, cytoplasm here marked. Fourth one, the granules, the blue color granules you can see. And the fifth one, that is nucleus. Remember one thing, zona, the corona radiata is having little bit space in between them, and zona pellucida, that is very, or it is encircling the entire ovum, correct. And cytoplasm, that is present normally in the cell also. And granules, especially the granules are very important in this case, because after the one sperm is fertilizing to the ovum, this granule will be deposited in the just nearer to the zona pellucida, by which it will be blocking other sperms to fertilize it, correct. So by which it is also preventing polyspermic addition, right. So come to the next one, human sperm. The first one is, if you will classify this human sperm, now there are three major parts. The first one is head, second one is middle piece, and the third one is tail. In between them there is a neck structure is also present, correct. So in the head region people can see two major components are present. Acrosomes, you people can see here triangular structure is there. So that is acrosome containing lysine, right. So major function is lysine will be dissolving the corona radiata here for the fertilization, right, along with the zona pellucida. Second part is present in the head region, that is nucleus or male nucleus containing the chromosomes, correct. The second part here also, the neck part, right, it is not having importance that actually it is just a connecting part between the middle piece and the head region, correct. And middle piece containing and rich in mitochondria, because it has to provide the energy to the tail for the movement, right. And already you know about the tail. So tail function is for the locomotion of the sperm, right. It will reach up to the oviduct where it can do the fertilization. Okay, once fertilization is occurring, then what will happen? The first process, that will be plasmogamy, intermixing of cytoplasm or protoplasm you normally can say. The second one is nucleus will fuse together, and that is called as karyogamy. After the fusion of the nucleus, the there will be the genetic recombination, or especially the chromosome rearrangement will be there, or the mixing of the chromosomes, that will be called as amphimixis, and after that a zygote will be formed. Okay, now you people can see here a normal process. The human male and human female both are producing their gametes as per their gender. The female is producing non-motile and a large egg cell. The second one is sperm, which is formed by the male, right? And when they both will be fused, they will be forming a zygote containing 46 number of chromosomes, which will undergo through the process of mitosis and will form the entire embryo, right? And from the embryo the entire child will be formed, right? So this is the entire structure, the entire the mind map whatever we discussed. Now come to the implantation. Remember one thing, after the fertilization what will happen, there will be attachment of the developing zygote with the wall of uterus, that is called as implantation, right? Already we discussed about few points here. The first one is implantation, right? The implantation is required because it has to take the nutrition from the mother, right? So the attachment of the developing zygote with the wall of endometrium, that is called as implantation, correct? So apart from this, the period of gestation is also there, whether it is mentioned or not, let's see. Okay, a few points I left maybe, just you can check here. Menstrual cycle 28 days में repeat होता रहता है, ठीक है. menor, when the puberty starts, at that time the first period, or the first period when a female experiences, that is called as menarche. The age at which the period starts, that is called as menarche. And when this period ends, matlab that it stops, that at the age of 50 to 55, at that time that is called as menopause. Apart from this, when we will come to the other concept, the period of gestation. Remember one thing, for the development of the child, after the formation of zygote to the formation of the entire child till the birth, this entire period of development is called as the period of gestation, or the pregnancy period. And after that there will be the birth of the child, or that is called as parturition, right? This is neuroendocrine mechanism where neural system as well as the endocrine system both are involved, right? With this, our all the contents are over. So some notes are here, you people can go through this. Okay, certain things I will be highlighting here, you people can see. Some growth and development differences are there. Infant, those are one, the children between 1 and 1 year of the age, those are called infant. Toddlers 1 to 4, and adolescent 11 to 19, and adulthood above the age of 18. At puberty already you know. um, the period of maturation in male and female, for the especially for the girls that is the 11 years, and for the boys that is 12 to 14. And puberty continue up to 18 also, right? Apart from this, then we'll come to the changes in the male and female. Already you may discussed about these things in the previous classes, right? You people can go through this. The testis matured, start producing the sperm, and pectoral girdle, which is the shoulder girdle, grows, right? The hair growth in the pubic region matlab in between the leg, that area is called as, in between this, the upper part of this leg, where the genitals are present, those are called as the pubic region. In that area especially, that hair will be growing. Male as well as female case, the skin in the pubic region becoming more darker. Development of the mustache and beard. Development of the deep voices in a male, right? In the same way, the same changes are, the same type of changes are there, which is required for the femaleness. Along with the problem related to the adolescence, these things you have already studied, you may be experiencing this thing right now also. Just read it once, it will be okay. Okay, a few things I will be adding here. Implantation we have discussed, the gestation period we have discussed also, a fetus and placenta also we discussed. Okay. Now if there will be no fertilization, what will happen? There will be the menstrual discharge, already we discussed for the 4 days, right? Okay. With this, our chapter is over. You people can go through this. Have a nice day.